Austin family, welcome back to another video. So you guys, we finally got settled in just about in the new crib, and you guys were expecting a story time from us from the time that we left Kansas City.
The disaster road trip, the journey that we went on. Oh my God.
It was wicked. It really did feel like a movie, to be honest with you.
We're gonna give you guys this story time, but before this video gets started, this video. If you are new to the channel, subscribe and turn on your post notification bell and comment down below done when you have completed everything, so you can potentially get a shout out in our next video.
So where we gonna start? Are we gonna start from the time that we left the house, or the time that we left that gas station?
The time that we left the house, because I want to talk about how I was feeling at that time.
Okay, that's cool. All right.
Okay, so we had got all of our stuff to like our last little items together. We did our walkthrough with our landlord and everything was going fine. But the moment that Dom got into the moving truck and I got into the van, I immediately started crying. And
you did start crying, mama.
Yeah. And it wasn't like one of them feelings to where it's like I don't miss my family. Well, I am gonna miss my family and stuff.
Thanks.
But I just had a gut feeling that something wasn't right, like something was about to happen. And you was like, babe, it's okay. We was on the phone with each other. I was in the car and he was in the moving truck, and we were just looking at each other. And I was just crying. Sonny was sitting next to me and she was just looking at me, and like I didn't know how to explain the way that I was feeling. But I was like literally on the verge of having an anxiety attack.
I didn't know you was crying like because of that. I thought really like when I was looking dead at you when I was in the truck, I'm thinking you're crying because you like, dang, I can't believe this. I'm about to actually move out of Kansas City to go to a different state, different city and stuff like that. Because when I told you, I was like, yo, we need to call my grandpa. Let's go ahead and call him so he can say a prayer for us. You instantly just started crying, and I'm like,
because I felt like we needed that prayer, because I felt like something was going to happen.
Right.
So I had made a status on Facebook and I said my anxiety is like basically through the roof, like I'm having really bad anxiety. And this was before we even left the house. When we were sitting in the driveway, I made that status. Something just didn't feel right to me. My stomach was hurting. You know how you know something bad is about to happen, you get them butterflies in your stomach, and you like, it's just like I just had an instinct. Okay.
Yeah.
So we had left. We had went to McDonald's. We had got the kids some food for the road, and we got snacks and all that. We had left McDonald's. We had got right on the road, and everything was going good. I was in the car listening to music, and I still had this feeling like, I don't know, my body was just like really tense, but it was just like I was trying to do everything that I could to shake the feeling, right?
Yeah.
So we drove for about 4 hours from Kansas City, Missouri to Wichita, Kansas, and we stopped at this truck stop.
We had to gas up.
We gassed up, and I remember Dom coming to the car and was like, what kind of gas do this truck take? And I was like, I don't know, you have to Google it, because they didn't let us know that information when we had went to go pick up the moving truck.
I ended up Googling what gas that the truck take. I was just reading over it too fast, and the whole time I'm thinking, all right, this mug take diesel. So I filled up the truck full of diesel, and I started doing a whole bunch of Snapchatting, letting everybody know, giving them an update where we were and stuff like that while we was gassing. I was gassing up both of the vehicles. And out of nowhere, I just started up the car. I'm like, yo, let's roll. We about to roll. We about to get up out of Wichita. Boom, boom, boom. Here we come, Houston. Not even a whole mile going down. Not even a mile.
We was only driving for about
45 seconds. 30 to 45 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm pushing it. I'm trying to push it up to 75 miles per hour because that's the max that the truck can do. I got up to about 45. I got up to 45 miles per hour. And the truck just started making some noise. It was just like brum 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 brum. I'm like, okay, maybe I need to put a little bit more pedal to the metal. I'm like, all right, let me go ahead and put a little bit more pedal to the metal. So I gassed it up a little bit more. It did not go no further than 45. It kept going down. It kept going down. And then I'm like, you know what? The engine light came on too. So I'm like, let me call wife.
So boom. He had that thought, like, let me call wife. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you what I saw from my perspective.
All right.
So when I was behind the truck, I'm looking and I'm like, it's black smoke coming out the exhaust pipe from the back of the truck.
It was black smoke?
Yes, and it had a smell to it. So, but when you was thinking, I'm gonna call wife, I already had my phone out, about to call you.
Wow, that's crazy.
So when I called you, like, I was just about to call you, wife. Something wrong with the truck.
Yeah, I was like, babe, the engine light just came on, and like, I can't speed up.
And I was like, yeah, it's a black smoke coming out the exhaust pipe. I think you should pull over.
I'm like, black smoke. I'm like, oh my God, Joe. I'm like, please tell me I did not put the wrong gas in. That's the only thing I could think of. I'm like, yo, I pray I did not just put the wrong gas in the tank.
And I was like, yeah, I think you put the wrong gas in.
We pulled over on the side of the highway. Wife anxiety went through the freaking roof and beyond.
I immediately started hyperventilating.
Because for one, the sun was already going down.
So the sun was going down. We was Kansas and Oklahoma already had a winter weather advisory. It was going to be a really bad snowstorm coming
by 8 o'clock.
By 8 o'clock. Okay, so our initial thought was, okay, so boom, we're going to be on the road at this time. We're going to get out of the weather advisory area just in time to beat the storm, right?
Right. We stuck on the road, y'all, on the side of the road. And I'm trying my best. This is like the day before New Year's. Mm-hmm. So this is New Year's Eve. This was New Year's Eve. We on the side of the road. I'm trying to get a hold of somebody as fast as I can to be able to get us into a new truck and head to Houston. Mm-hmm. So I'm calling, and I'm just waiting. I'm on hold for like a long time, and I'm texting wife like, babe, like this is, it just don't feel right. Something is just going bad. I'm like, babe, like, head up, we're gonna be all right. So I finally got a hold of somebody at like 5 o'clock, between 5:30. It was.
They had you on hold for about 45 minutes to an hour.
It was already nighttime, so it was night, and in Kansas. It's nothing but land. It's nothing but land and hills. Land and hills. So
before you go any further, we was on the side of the road, and it was a lot of cars passing us, 18-wheeler trucks.
Doing 75 miles.
Doing 75 right on the side of our car. And you know, like when you on the side of the road and like a car, even a regular car right past you, you get that big gush of wind and your car starts shaking. Yeah. So I was in the car with Nico, Rahana, and Sonny, and I was just thinking like, I'm on the side of the road with my freaking kids, and anything could happen because people die like that.
And she was parked. She when we pulled over to the side of the road, she was behind me, behind the big truck. She was not in front, so that I could understand like why her anxiety was going through the roof. She like, okay, these trucks, these cars, they coming, they swerving, like they driving past us super fast. All you feel is just, and like the car just Corvette. Like over and over. So like I'm like, babe, like go ahead and get in front of me, okay? I would rather you be in front of me to at least calm down just a little bit more. I started talking to people about around 5 o'clock, 5:30. They told me that they were going to send somebody out, okay? They like, it's going to take about, they're telling us, they like, okay, you guys are in the middle of basically exiting out of Wichita, so y'all about 30-45 minutes outside of Wichita. So it's going to take about another hour, about 45 minutes to an hour and a half for someone to come out there and help y'all. Mm-hmm.
They said 60 to 90 minutes.
60 to 90 minutes, that's what they told us. Mm-hmm. I just remained calm. I prayed. I was just praying in the truck. Me and Mike was in the truck. We just like, Mike just like, yo, what's going on? Like, I'm like, I don't know, son. We just gonna go ahead and go to the van. So
by then I was already in full blown tears.
Yeah, I did the best I could to comfort my wife because her anxiety was just through the roof, like heart beating fast and crying at the same time. Like that was like one of the hardest situations that I was able to try to handle on my wife because it was just so much going on she started doubting our situation, like maybe it wasn't the right move to move to Houston. It just felt like everything wasn't going the way it was supposed to be going for us.
So it took about 3 hours for the tow truck to even come.
Okay.
Once the tow truck came there, he was like, oh, they didn't tell me that it was this kind of truck. They thought it was a pickup truck. It took him at least 2 hours.
You're right.
It took him at least 2 hours to even put our moving truck on the tow truck.
Yeah.
So we was sitting on the side of the road for about 5 or 6 hours in the cold, in the middle of nowhere, on the side of the highway.
And this led to like all the way 9 o'clock, 9:30. Yeah, 9:30. And y'all know because of the COVID, everything closes early.
Yeah.
Everything is closed early. So by the time we got to Wichita U-Haul place to go get a new truck,
it was already like 10 o'clock.
It was already like 10 o'clock.
So we was on the side of the road from 4 o'clock.
From 4 o'clock.
4:30ish.
To 10 o'clock
at night.
By that time, we were supposed to be
already
2 hours away from Houston.
And we were still 8 hours away.
And oh my God, yo, we was still 7 hours and 45 minutes away.
We was only 4 hours from Kansas City.
Yeah.
When we got to a moving truck place, the man took our truck off of the tow truck and he left. He took our keys to the truck and he left. He was supposed to leave our keys with us, but he ended up taking the keys and leaving. And he would not come back because it was New Year's Eve, and he said that his wife had made him food and all that. Whatever.
Let me tell you what, buddy. Let me tell you what happened. I got out the car and I asked him. I'm like, yo, like, is there anything that you need me to do? He's like, go knock on the doors, go knock on the windows or something, and see if somebody's in there. And if they're not in there, you come back and let me know. I went all the way around the whole building. I'm knocking on doors. I'm looking at cameras. I'm just looking at everywhere. I'm like, yo, I don't see nobody in sight at all. So I come back and I tell him, I'm like, listen, sir, I don't know what's supposed to be going on. We're supposed to be getting a new truck. I don't know if you know or not, but we're supposed to be getting a new truck so that way I can transfer all my things in my truck and to the new truck. He like, yeah, I know that. And plus, there's supposed to be like a group of people supposed to help you to get your stuff out of this truck into the other. I'm like, well, it's already 10 o'clock. It's 10:30. Nobody's here. So I don't give a damn if somebody helps me or not. I will do this shit on my own. So he like, you listen, sir, I understand how you feeling. But listen, sir, it's about to be New Year's. My wife, my dinner already been on the table since 6:30. So if you can just sign these papers and just dip out so I can dip out, that's it.
He left.
He freaking left us in the middle of nowhere. We had to wait a whole nother hour.
Was it an hour?
No.
30
it wasn't.
to 45 minutes.
A whole nother 35, 45 minutes.
Just for somebody to answer the phone. Because wasn't nobody in the place to give us our keys to our new truck. They had to dispatch one of the service workers out to our location. And it didn't take him that long, maybe about 5 to 10 minutes just to get there.
Yeah, he wasn't that far.
So when he got there, he couldn't find the keys to our truck that we were supposed to get. So he's going back and forth trying to get keys to different trucks, trying to figure out which truck matched which keys or whatever.
Right.
So it took him at least an hour. It took him at least another hour to figure out which truck we were supposed to get, to gas it up and all that. So by this time, it's like 11:30.
It's already 11:30. You know what I'm saying? Time go by a little bit forward. He finally found the set of keys to the actual right truck. After, I think it was like 3 or 4 different trucks he was looking for. Some of them was messed up. The other ones didn't have enough gas. The other ones, the engines was messed up, and finally found us something. I bullshit you not. It took me, personally, basically me. You know what?
What?
I take that back. I take that back. You know what? I take that back because wife was helping. Wife, she got out there, started helping. Wife and Masani. Masani was helping too. Like
Masani's such an angel.
I love you so much, Sonny.
She's so special.
You really helped us a lot out there. My 2 girls were helping.
Mike was in the car with the babies.
Yeah, he was in the car with the babies and trying to keep them calm. After the babies was going off, wife, she had to stop to go comfort them. This is like 11:45, like 15 minutes to New Year's. 15 minutes to New Year's, y'all.
We had to pull the new truck in the back of the old truck, and we had to take off everything. When I tell y'all we had so much stuff, we had like 35 boxes. We had like 10 totes of stuff.
No. I can say that wasn't a lot, because if you really think
it was a lot.
It was a lot
to be. Listen, it was below zero. We was in the middle of nowhere, and it was 11:30ish, 11:45ish at night.
Not to mention that,
on New Year's Eve.
Not to mention to tell y'all that we already had the warning that Kansas was getting the blizzard.
Yeah, the snow warning. So we was trying to hurry up and get everything done. We had to take all of our stuff off one truck in below zero weather and put it on a whole other truck. That was at least an hour process.
It was.
And I remember at 12 o'clock, midnight, we start seeing fireworks in the sky. And I remember that specifically because Sonny was yelling, "Happy New Year! Happy New Year!" She was going crazy.
Sonny left. It was like almost she left us, yo. She just walked off and went somewhere and was like, all I heard was, "Woo! Happy New Year! Woo!"
And I remember about to cry because I was like, this is how we bring it in our New Year. This cannot be life.
I'm like, Sonny, bring your ass. I'm like, girl, we still transferring the stuff in the truck. She's like, okay, Happy New Year's, woo! I'm like, oh my God.
So we finished getting everything out the truck, and we had got back on the road. We on the phone with each other like, okay, so maybe, if we rush this, we can beat this storm.
Right.
So I want to say like 2 hours into us driving, it starts raining, like sprinkling a little bit. Then it starts to pick up a little bit, and then next thing you know,
it was rain.
It was rain and wind and a little ice come down. So we like, okay, we're gonna let this calm down a little bit. So we pulled over into this hotel. So we was contemplating on if we wanted to go in or not, because we like, if we go in there, it's gonna set us back, and we still like tomorrow we're still gonna have to get up and drive. So we might as well just finish this off, just knock it out right now.
Right.
So we sitting in the car waiting on the weather to die down a little bit.
We were in Oklahoma City at this time.
No, we was not in Oklahoma City.
No, not Oklahoma City, but we were entering
Oklahoma.
Oh yeah.
So instead of it dying down, y'all, it did the total complete opposite. Dominique's like, okay, I'm gonna take a little nap. Just wake me up when it's died down or whatever. I'm in the van by myself with me, Sonny, Hannah, and Nico, and I'm changing both of their diapers. I had to make sure both of the babies ate and they was comfortable. Sonny had ended up falling asleep for a little bit, and once I seen that everybody in the car was comfortable, I drifted off for about 10 minutes. When I woke up,
1:45.
My windshield.
1:45 o'clock in the morning.
One something in the morning. The windshield.
I remember that.
The Dominique's windshield to the truck. The whole parking lot was filled with at least 2 to 3 inches of snow and ice.
Literally.
Snow and ice. We like, oh my God.
Like, not even a whole hour ago, it was just raining and hard winds.
Yeah.
It went from rain to hard winds to straight snow.
Mm-hmm.
I woke up because I'm like, damn, I woke up in my dream. Like, I don't know what I was dreaming about, but in my sleep, I'm like, yo, I'm cold as hell. So I woke up and I looked up. I'm just looking at the windshield like,
what the hell?
No, like, this can't be it. Like, no, we're not in this blizzard.
1 something in the morning.
I called wife. I'm like, babe, do you see this?
I'm like, I think we might need to go so we don't get trapped in this. We don't know how
deep it's
gonna get. We don't know how bad it is on highways right now.
Right.
But if we stay here, we're gonna be stranded here for at least another day. Mm-hmm. So first we went to the gas station, which was like right across the street, and
we went and gassed up.
Dominique got the baby some bottles of water for her bottles, and then we got right back on the road. When I tell y'all, the highway was so slushy and so icy. It was like people on the side of the road.
All in ditches. Before we even got on the road, we felt like the devil was really working on us, was really trying to play a part of stopping us from moving to Houston. I felt like that because when I went into the gas station to gas up and get the babies some food, I told the employer, I'm like, yo, like, this is crazy, like how all this snow is here. They like, yeah. This is what she told me. She said, we haven't had this much amount of snow in about 6 years.
That was mind blowing to me. Like,
freaking mind blowing. You mean to tell me, 6 years ago, y'all ain't had no type of snow like this until today? And I'm like, oh wow. I'm like, listen, the truck done messed up on us. We had to wait 8 hours to get a whole new truck.
We had to move everything.
Move everything, and then boom, a freaking blizzard in Oklahoma coming towards us. I'm like, yo, like it's not getting. What can go worse than this?
Yeah.
As we driving on the road,
it was pitch black. We couldn't see nothing.
Nada.
We couldn't see nothing on the right or left side of us. The only thing that we could see is what our headlights
were showing us. That was it.
Dom was in front of me. The highway was so slushy. They hadn't cleaned the highways off yet. So I'm following his tracks. Every lane that he was in, like switched to, he was basically just like making a path for me so it could be easier, because of course he was in the bigger truck and I was in the van. So
we on the phone too the whole time. The whole freaking time.
We drove like 3 hours. We were just on the phone with each other. We was like really being each other's support system, because I was scared, and I know you was scared, but you don't really be like showing it and stuff. So I'm directing you because you didn't have like a rear view mirror.
Nuh-uh.
So I'm like, okay, it's an 18-wheeler coming up. I think we're gonna have to get over. So we'll get over. They was like going so fast, like they was coming up on us so fast.
They doing like 50 miles, yo.
And it was so slushy and so icy. If you follow us on Instagram, then you saw like the little Insta things that we was doing to show you our current situation. So every time we saw 18-wheeler, even any car in general, because I wasn't gonna speed. We was only doing like 40 to 50 miles per hour.
No, we were doing 30
we
to
were
40.
Doing
30 to 40
My bad.
miles.
Like 30 to 40 miles. And I wasn't gonna go no faster. Wasn't nobody gonna make me go no faster. It's ice on this ground. I got my babies in this car. My other baby is in the truck. My husband's in the truck. We ain't speeding for nobody. So we going as fast as we wanted to go. They just zooming past us, and then some of the cars that we see zoom past us. Once we get up a little bit up the road, they on the side of the road because they wanted to speed.
Yep.
So we're like, okay, cool. So what would have been like maybe like an hour drive from Oklahoma, from the beginning of Oklahoma to Oklahoma City?
Yeah, because we were 80 miles away from Oklahoma City, and
that would have been like an hour, maybe an hour and a half.
Maybe less.
It took us 3 hours to get there.
It took us 3 hours.
Hold on, wait. It took us more than that, because we left the hotel at 1 something, and then we arrived at that truck stop location at like 5.
5 or
it
6.
took us like 4 hours.
To drive 60 miles.
To drive 60 miles.
To drive 60 miles, yo. We were 20... At that time when we finally parked, we were 25 miles from Oklahoma City.
Yeah, we didn't even make it.
We didn't even make it.
We couldn't even make it.
We could.
By the time we parked, me and Mike went in to use the bathroom, and Sonny was asleep. Sonny is such an angel, y'all. Like, the whole time I was driving in the snow, from the time we left the hotel, Sonny would sit on the side of me, and she tried her best to stay up and be there. I'm gonna cry. Every time I think about this, I just get so like emotional, because she was just trying to stay up with me and just like be there for me while I was driving and everything. Like, the whole time she's like, oh mama, you doing so good, just like don't go so fast, just like take your time. Like, she's just like really encouraging me to like be safe, and I felt comfort in that. But then she fell asleep, and I'm looking at her like, okay, she fought a long fight. Like, my baby, I know she's tired, she been up all day. So we get to the truck stop, we use the bathroom, I came back to the van. Dominique and Mike had already came to the van, and I laid back. I think I held Hannah for a little bit. Then I gave her to you, because I'm like, I'm so tired. Like, I couldn't drive anymore, because when we was almost like there, I was like, babe, I can't go no more. My eyes is burning. I'm really tired.
We were
so like, whatever you want to do, we can do. You want to pull over? We can pull over. So when we pulled over, I took a nap. We was asleep for everybody in the car was asleep for about an hour and a half.
No, it was a couple of hours. But
when we went to sleep, it was dark. When we woke up, it was light outside. And they had already started cleaning the roads off. So we were like, oh my God, thank you. Like, thank you for that.
Like,
So
we really needed them roads
so
cleaned.
I called. I had talked to my mom. My mom had called me that morning, and she was just like asking us where we was at and if we was okay and all of that. So we didn't even make it to Houston. We actually got back on the road at like 7 something.
7:45, I remember.
7:45, and we went straight to Dallas to my mom's house.
Yeah, we had.
We couldn't even drive no more. We didn't make it to Mama's house until like 12ish, 1ish, and
we were literally on the road.
We were literally on the road, sleeping in our car, eating in our car
for a whole day.
And I remember when we had first stopped on the side of the highway, when all this had started happening, I remember calling my mama and I was crying to her, and I'm like, I would just turn back around and go back to Kansas City, but there's nothing left for me in Kansas City. We don't have nowhere to live, nothing. We already had this house before we even came down here, so we had somewhere to go. But I was like, I would turn back around. My mama was like, no, don't let the devil put you back in Kansas City. You do what you were supposed to do, and you come your butt straight to Texas.
Because the devil was working
overtime.
That whole time, from the time us leaving that house in Kansas City to trying to come down to Houston, the devil was working super overtime. But like really, God was working triple time.
Because we made it. Because we was all safe. Our car was not messed up. Nothing. God gave us that strength.
Woo. That
strength to get through that, because it just felt like we was taking hit after hit after hit.
2-3 hours of
sleep.
In Oklahoma City.
From Kansas City to Dallas, Texas is only 8 hours. So what actually should have, because we went straight to Mama's and then we stayed there for like a day.
Yeah.
So what really should have been an 8-hour drive was a 24-hour drive, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't even come straight to Houston. That was the 11 hours.
Yeah, we crashed over there because we had to
get some sleep.
We had to get rest. We definitely needed.
We all needed showers. We had already been on the road for a whole day. It's just the whole message behind everything that we had went through is just like, don't let nothing like stop you
at all
from pursuing the things that you know will better your life, because it's always going to be the devil lurking, trying to make things harder for you.
Definitely.
But you gotta know how to overcome those obstacles, and I feel like prayer helped, because I prayed a lot during that whole little car ride, that whole little journey, and I just feel like God like saw us through the entire time, even though the devil was like trying to hold us back time after time after time. And we was just like, when we first made it, we was just like, damn, babe. We looked at each other like, we really freaking made it.
Like, we was asking each other, like, how the hell did we make it?
How did we do it? How did we do that?
How was that possible?
We were strong.
Very. Not.
And we held each other together.
Yeah, we really.
That's the end of.
That's it.
That's the end of our journey. I know y'all been wanting this video, so here y'all go. And go follow us on Instagram. It's gonna be somewhere at the bottom of the screen.
Follow our personals too, because we definitely be tuned in on our Instagram. So like, y'all gotta tap in with us. We keep.
So you guys, thank you guys for watching. Leave some encouraging words down in the comment section,
because we gonna read them and we definitely needed them.
Yeah,
we need them.
Yeah, give this video a thumbs up if you are new. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and comment down below done, so you can potentially get a shout out in our next video. And we'll see you guys in our next video.
But in the meantime, in between time, it's your boy Domi
and Rah,
and we signing off.
Peace.